Hockey fans, it's time for BoardCheck, Impact Media's weekly drive through the neutral zone of the NHL and ECHL, as well as the Nashville Predators, Atlanta Gladiators, and of course the Carolina Hurricanes. Basically, it's Impact Media's weekly hockey show. We're all about hockey. Coming to you live tonight from Impact Media Studio West. I'm Jeremy, the Impact York. Figured I would rock the Matt Duchene hat. Well, Gladiators on. Lots of fun stuff to talk about as the Preds actually kicked off earlier tonight. We will talk about that game next week. But the Canes, the Preds are jump starting their season. I think the Canes are tomorrow night. We'll talk about that. And of course, the Glads have their roster pretty much getting set to start the year. But before we do that, let me tell you all the amazing ways that you can be a part of this show. You can email the show 3endzone@gmail.com. You can look for us on Facebook, whether that be BoardCheck or Impact Media. You can find us on Twitter @Team Impact Media. Scroll down to the appropriate show, click on it, listen or watch as many times you want. There is no cap. BoardCheck is also unique in that it has its own Twitter @BoardCheck, where you will see a little bit of rugby stuff. Not a lot of that going on right now, but tons and tons of hockey content over at BoardCheck. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, Triller, TikTok, and Instagram, where we throw up all, where we post. Throw up sounds weird. Where we post all of our great content for the show and away from the show, just fun stuff we get into. A lot of you guys have kind of figured that out, and we appreciate it. And of course, you can find us on YouTube @BoardCheck99, @BoardCheck99. Kind of getting over the sniffles a little bit. I'll be good. I've got to be good. KSU hockey, which we talk about on our show Hootie Who, kicks off this Friday with this guy being the voice. So got to get the voice ready. But not before we talk some hockey here on BoardCheck. I want to actually start with the Gladiators. First off, listen to the Gladiators pod. Liam Godimer, the voice of our Gladiators, along with the director, being the director of broadcasting and communications. He had on Mitch Walensky, and really, really good. It's fun getting to listen to a lot of these players. I want you guys, Glad fans, to start suggesting players, coaches, front office, whoever. We had Liam on in the preseason. We're going to have him on a little bit throughout the year. You guys let me know who you want on, and we will see what we can do to get them on this show. But check out the Glads pod. It's just really good. The training camp roster. Let's get into the training camp roster. I have it right here in front of me. This is the training camp roster as of right now. There are 6 defensemen, 11 forwards, and 2 goaltenders. Now, keep in mind that, 6 or 8? I think it's 8 Gladiators are in the AHL, trying to make those rosters. And if they're able to, that's great. We will just sign more great talent for down here in Atlanta. If they are unfortunate and do not make that AHL roster, they're going to come back here. There's a great place for them to land. But let's just go through the players. On defense, you've got Dylan Caribia, Bray Crowder, Jacob Graves, Blake Evanu, Dylan Peters, who is on a PTO, that is a pro tryout, and Zach Yoder, the Yoder man. The forwards, it's going to get tricky. Connor Kaspari, who's on a tryout. Alex Cohen, who's on a tryout. Ryan Cranford, Evan Doherty, Mitch Fossier. Mitch is going to have a big season, guys. You're going to see why that trade happened. Buster Larson, who is on a tryout. Michael Marchison, who is on a tryout. Tommy Monticello, who was on a pro tryout. McGregor Sinclair on a PTO. Great name, by the way. Cody Sylvester and Mitch Walensky. Our goaltenders as of right now are Jimmy Pareda, who is on a PTO, and Zane Stevies, who is on a tryout. It's fun. It's a really fun roster. I'm looking forward to seeing who we get back from the AHL, but I like there's a lot of promise on that roster there, and as you noticed, a lot of the people that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, even people we talked about with Liam Godimer back in the preseason, are on those tryout basis with other teams. So we wish all of our guys the best. We wish all of the people on the roster the best. And the only other real Glads news is they have some schedule changes. So once again, let me just go through those. And as always, either if you get the emails that the team sends out, or if you subscribe to a lot of their social medias and things like that, they put all these out, or AtlantaGladiators.com. Looks like to start with, instead of playing the Orlando Solar Bears in Gas South Arena on January 15th, it is going to be on December 3rd. That is a 3 p.m. puck drop in the Gas South Arena. The other home game is, instead of April 7th, it will be April 3rd, where they will play the Jacksonville Icemen at 7 p.m. at the Gas South Arena. The other three games, or the other three games. March 8th, they're no longer playing the South Carolina Stingrays. It is now going to be December 27th, which is a Tuesday. No, it's a Wednesday. That will be in the North Charleston Coliseum. 7:05 puck drop for that one. The January 26th Orlando Solar Bears game at the Amway Center in Orlando is now moved to January 29th. And the March 16th game against the Savannah Ghost Pirates in Market Arena is now on March the 15th. There's two other games as well. The Gladiators will no longer play on Sunday, November 12th against Florida at 3 p.m. With that said, Atlanta will now play on Tuesday, November 21st at Jacksonville at 7 p.m. You can see the entire schedule on AtlantaGladiators.com. And other than that, I believe you can catch every game live on Flow Hockey, which is where you can find a lot of ECHL action. I'm hearing that every game will be live on Flow Hockey. I believe you do have to buy a package to do that, but you can see all the Glads games, so definitely worth it. What else can we get into? Let's talk a little Canes. A little bit about the Canes. Canes are doing the opposite of what the Predators were doing last week. They are pretty quiet. Not a lot in the public. There's a lot going on. Not a lot in the public. If I'm going to shout out one podcast, great podcast about hockey, I got to shout out another one. Canes Cast is fantastic. It's one of the best NHL team official podcasts there is, and also the POP, the Predators official podcast. Those are great if you're wanting to keep up with the team and listen to fun shows. They have all kinds of cool guests. Both those shows are fantastic. But as far as the Canes, we've seen their new guys, or some of their new guys, and we've seen their roster, kind of season starter roster. But I want to talk about a couple of the new guys. I want to start with forward Michael Bunting. He's a left winger. Most recently played, I believe, for the Maple Leafs. He is a Rod Brindamore player, if there ever was one. A go out there and get it done, and get it done the right way, and make sure that everybody makes it to the finish line at the same time. Not an individualistic player, very much a team player. Will do what needs to be done. Bunting is just a fantastic player. It's part of why Tony DeAngelo got brought back. He's a Rod Brindamore player. you know. But I think Michael Bunting, I think that is going to be a guy that, if I told Glad fans that Mitch Frostier is going to have a big season, Michael Bunting is going to be a guy. He may not score 30 goals or have 30 assists, 40 assists or something like that, but depending on what line he goes on, he's going to be very impactful in how the Hurricanes move forward. Where there was another one. I told you guys about Felix Ungersorum. Oh, Orlov. Having Orlov for this season is going to be fantastic on the defense. He's another one of those guys. He is a grinder. He will go out there and get it done. Not afraid to be a little physical if he has to be. But man, you guys are going to really like Orlov. He's going to fit in right there. Maybe. Do they want to pair him with? You could pair him with Brett Burns. That would be, whew, that'd be a fun pairing. I would not want to be the opposing line if you pair Dmitry Orlov and Brent Burns. That could be disastrous for other teams, which means it's great for us. As far as new people, I told you guys they're going to probably roll with 3 goalies to start with. I don't know what they're going to do with Yaniv Peretz. I don't know. I guess he's going to go to the AHL. But here's the weird thing. Remember, they don't have official affiliates in the ECHL and AHL this year, which is not the world's biggest problem because they don't have that many prospects out there. They have some, but they traded a lot of those prospects and other things to move around and get players they needed last season and this season. But that doesn't mean you won't see them possibly in your local rink. Just keep an eye out for some of the Canes prospects. Let's go to Nashville. Told you guys about the POP. Check that out. They have recently had Ryan O'Reilly on, who is he's an awesome guy. Talks about his career a little bit, but also some of the fun things that he does, and you get to know him a little bit. And then they had head coach Andrew Burnett on. If you didn't get a chance to see him during his I guess his pre-coaching days, you guys are gonna like his style, and you're gonna like the way these Predators look. Like I said, I'm not gonna foreshadow the game that happened earlier today. Just know this Predator team has already come out more aggressive and more on fire this year than they looked a lot of last year. And I think a lot of it has to do with some of the new faces, and I think a lot of it has to do with head coach Andrew Burnett. Like I said, I think you guys are going to really enjoy what he brings to the table. Pretty much all the Preds. Like I said, they have a game tonight. Or they had a game tonight. They were the opening game. Have not gotten a chance to see it. Hoping to do that here in a few short minutes. They will also play Thursday at home. That's the home opener as they welcome in the Seattle Kraken, who I believe start their year tonight versus the Golden Knights, the defending champions. Predators also will play Saturday in Boston. And since we don't know when the next version of this show is coming out, I will go ahead and tell you that next Tuesday they will host the Edmonton Oilers in Nashville. That should be a lot of fun. Let me go back to the Canes because I forgot to tell you about their schedule. Might as well tell you about their schedule. They will play tomorrow night as they host the Ottawa Senators. 7 p.m. puck drop there. On Saturday, they will be in LA to take on the Kings. That is a 10:30 puck drop. On Sunday, they'll stay in California and take on the not so mighty Ducks at 8:30. These are all Eastern Standard Time. And then on Tuesday they will. They're just going to pretty much stay in on the West Coast for a good bit. Man, they've got a. It must be for the renovations. Must be because they play in LA, in Anaheim. They play in San Jose on Tuesday. Um, and then they stay on the West Coast and go to Seattle, and they go to Colorado. That is a crazy. And then at Tampa Bay, and then finally back home at the end of this month on the 26th to host Seattle. That's a crazy schedule. Crazy schedule. But I see good things happening. Their game tomorrow night, is that on TV? We said producer Sassy is telling me that it is on Bally Sport South or Bally Sport or whatever. Okay. Valley Sports South. It sounds right. All right. So that's how you could find all those amazing games. Luckily, here in the Atlanta area, if you have Valley Sport, a lot of times you don't need the extra package. You can catch a lot of their games. And of course, NHL.com and the NHL Network, they play tons of games too. So all the fun places that you can find our Canes and our Preds. And then I told you about Flow Hockey with the Glads. So as we kind of wind down, a couple things NHL headline related I kind of want to get into. Not really headline. There are 18 games on national broadcast this week off the opening week. That tells you a lot about where the state of hockey is right now. It's in a really good place. 18 games are going to be in the national spotlight this week. So there's a good chance that your favorite team is playing on a national scale, no matter who your team is. You know, those commercials to talk about football where you could be in the wrong part of the country, maybe for your team. Well, it could be that way too. You know, maybe you're watching this show and you live in California, but you're a Canes fan. Well, these national spotlight games are going to give you the opportunity to watch the Canes without having to get one of the crazy packages. And the packages are cool. I understand why you guys don't get them. I understand why you guys get them. You don't miss a game if you get center ice and all those kind of things. What else was there? But 18 games in a week. That's spectacular, and that's between the ESPNs and the big networks and all those. So that's fantastic. Fantastic. The question has been raised: can Vegas repeat? Short answer: yeah, they can. They didn't really lose that much. They gained some. It's really hard to win one time, let alone repeat. But Vegas has got a lot of the same team that they had. So I do think they're probably going to be one of the top seeds coming out of the West. But Seattle looked pretty good last year. Was the Kings weren't bad. There were some teams that made surges at some point, guys. Colorado's still really good too. They're going to make a big surge, and I believe they won the Cup 2 years ago. It wasn't that far ago. Let's see what happens. The West is going to be fun. I think the East is absolutely loaded, absolutely loaded. Ovechkin is on the edge of history. I don't know if you guys remember Ovechkin watch from last year. We'll probably do something similar to that this season. We'll have maybe we'll do some cool graphics. We'll do something because he is very close to breaking the Gretzky record that most thought couldn't be reached, and that is the most goals. I believe he was going to need like a season and a half. I think he's like 50 or 60 goals away. So good more than likely he's going to get 35 or 40 this year. So, we're talking November, December of next year, almost a calendar year from right now. He's going to be close. I mean, maybe he scores 50. I don't know how many he's going to score. But Ovechkin watch is fantastic because it's a streak. Like I said, it's a record that no one thought was going to actually be broken, or if it was, it's going to be so far down the road that we didn't know who it was going to be. And then Alex Ovechkin hit the league, and I think I got to give Crosby credit. If Crosby hadn't had the injuries that he has, Ovechkin's been dinged up, but Crosby's had some big sustainable injuries. There's a chance that he's right there neck and neck with him because he's that talented too. But it's gonna be fun, kind of tracking Ovechkin across the season, seeing all the fun stuff he does. That Capitals team may not be the world beater that it was a couple years ago when they won a cup, but they may gear it just to help him break the record. They may just kind of center around him like they have been, and just kind of go with it. And then lastly, look, I'm the last to buy into hype. I usually am. I'm one of the last. It's got to really just impress me. And Connor Bedard, being the number 1 overall pick, he's going to Chicago. Chicago's not very good. They do have Taylor Hall, who I'm a big fan of, and he's going to kind of mentor Connor Bedard a little bit. But the hype of Connor Bedard, oh, he's the number 1 pick. Oh, he's so good. Oh, this and this. And I watched a preseason game with Chicago, and I almost had to put it on mute because every other sentence out of their mouth involved Connor Bedard. I mean, they weren't even really calling the game. It was just, I didn't like it. But if you watch this kid play, this kid's special. I don't know how special because we didn't know how special Ovechkin or Crosby or I mean, we knew they were going to be pretty good, maybe even really good, but not exceptional or great. But then you look at, God, what's the name? Connor McDavid. We thought he'd be really special, and turns out he's really, really special. Maybe Bedard's that kind of player. We don't really know, but he's coming in like a house of fire. He's done some really good stuff so far on the ice. It is preseason. We'll wait till the actual season starts. I feel like they're the middle game. I think they're playing probably as we record this. But the hype is real. And I may not necessarily be on the bandwagon yet or on the hype train, but I'm at the station looking at tickets. I'll put you there. I'll put it there. I'm considering tickets on the train. But like I said, other than that, tonight was opening night. Got a lot of fun games on the slate tomorrow night. Canes are going to be on a crazy West Coast swing till about the end of the month. And the Preds are going to have a pretty winnable schedule. Maybe you can rifle off 2, 3, 4 wins here in the next couple of weeks and really get off to a good foot. But other than that, this has been another great edition of BoardCheck. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. Appreciate you guys letting us come on each and every week and talk NHL, ECHL, and just hockey in general. But until then, we will see you guys next week. Go Canes, go Preds, go Glads, go watch hockey.